Welcome back to the Naval News segment for today. We're going to begin with USNI News. Credit to Sam Legrone and Heather Mongolio. Hope I'm saying her name right. They write, Secretary of Defense orders United States carrier USS Harry S. Truman to stay in the Mediterranean to reassure allies. And what the Harry S. Truman was doing was going to transit the Suez Canal, get into the Indian Ocean, and operate in that area as we routinely have a presence in that part of the world. But before we get to that, they're going to hang out here for a little bit because there's some drama going down around Ukraine. Sorry about that. So there's some drama going down around Ukraine. And so just to reassure our NATO allies that we're not going to just pass right by this drama, we're going to hang out for who knows how long. The Secretary of Defense has ordered that the carrier will stay where it's at, which is in the Mediterranean. From the piece, Sam and Heather write, U.S. Carrier Strike Group is lingering in the Mediterranean Sea rather than journeying to the Middle East on orders from Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, USNI News learned on Tuesday. USS Harry S. Truman, Carrier Air Wing 1, and its escorts are now operating in the Ionian Sea between Greece and Italy rather than resume the planned transit through the Suez Canal to the U.S. Central Command, a defense official confirmed to USNI News. USNI News first reported Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group in the Ionian Sea as of Monday, according to Fleet Tracker. Fleet Tracker is a great tool that we use here often, and so this gives a generalized location that's usually more than 24 hours delayed, so we don't give away exact positions and stuff like that. But so this is a declassified generalization of where all the fleets are around the globe. And as you can see, we primarily have all of our, units in the, far Pacific, and that's been a routine for a long time. But Harry S. Truman is going to hang out here for a little bit for some drama that's happening up in the Black Sea that we're about to talk about. The scheduled change, blessed by Austin, is to reassure European allies that U.S. is committed to regional security, one official said, without mentioning the ongoing Russian military buildup on the eastern border of Ukraine. Captain Bill Speaks, spokesperson for the European Command, confirmed that Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group is operating in the Sixth Fleet's area of command. He could not comment on future operations. These deployments are dynamic in nature and due to our operational security policy. So, honestly, yeah, he's saying he doesn't even know, and that's a true answer because maybe they just hang out, they enjoy some Liberty ports, which is great for the crew, great for morale, and nothing happens in Ukraine, right? Or they provide more air assets to Ukraine as required. We don't know. The ball literally is in Russia's court right now. What Russia does will determine what we do. We're going to be very, very reactive. We've put ourselves in a position to be reactive to Moscow. Back to the piece, though. The ongoing border tensions between Moscow and Kiev have been building over the past 2 months. After Russia began moving troops near Ukraine, satellites images published by the BBC show the buildup of Russian troops from early as November 9th in Russian cities around Ukraine, including Crimea, which Russia invaded in 2014. The word invading there is a little misleading because it was a election, but the election process was in question. And I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to trigger that topic again. We kind of talked about that on Friday. No need to do that again. Russia has demanded NATO stops its expansion into Ukraine or Georgia, in addition to pulling military units from Poland and Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, according to the BBC article. Yeah, so President Biden has reiterated his support for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity and calls for a de-escalation and a return to diplomacy, which they are going to return to diplomacy. President Biden and President Putin are going to have another video conference on June 10th, where they're going to discuss this buildup in Ukraine. So let's just take a moment and take a look at what's happening today in this region. And here we have, so this is the contested area. This is Ukraine. This is Crimea in red. It's part of Russia now. They had a election. They chose to be part of Russia, and that's why Crimea is part of Russia. If you were to believe the election results is on its face value, that's what happened. If you don't believe the election results, then you believe that they have been conquered and occupied. Okay, those are the two opposing points of view. just so everybody understands that. So, but what happened over here is very interesting as well. This used to be part of Ukraine, and Ukraine claims that it still is, with this red border right here. And this red border is bordering, this is Russia. Russia is claiming this territory, sort of. That's up in the air. And this is Ukraine here. And there's been firefights going on daily there. Across each one of these little icons is a general location of where ceasefire violations have happened. As of 2 days ago, 5 ceasefire violations happened yesterday, and 1 Ukraine serviceman was wounded. I think if we click on the other ones, we'll see that in this area, 10 ceasefire violations were done yesterday, and 2 Ukraine servicemen were wounded. So there are shots being fired in this region now. It may not be a war, it may not even be a battle, but the Ukrainians call these guys Russian rebels or Ukraine rebels. They call themselves rebels, and whenever you have rebels shooting in your country, I think you find yourself in a civil war just by definition, even though nobody wants to call it that. And the fact that shots are being fired and people are being hurt is not very well reported here in the United States. We don't even know this is going on, but violence is already underway. And this didn't just start. This shooting's been going on since 2014. This is 6 years old now, right? But what assets do we have in the area? I mean, it's not just our Harry S. Truman, which is over here in the Ionian Sea. That's the sea over. Actually, I think it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it's over here somewhere. Take a look at this. We have a U.S. Army Bombardier Challenger 650 Artemis and a U.S. Air Force RC-135 Rivet. Those are reconnaissance planes out there, just keeping an eye on things, watching, in this case, it looks like Crimea, but we also have recon planes over here watching this area. This one might be this is a United States airplane right here. Right. This doesn't belong to Ukraine. It's in Ukraine territory, providing information to Ukraine about what's going on in real time. And this one, I believe, is a Ukraine one right here. Yeah. So this one is a Ukrainian Air Force flying a Russian-built IL-76MD, monitoring the border here, the border activity. So that's what's going on. It's pretty hot. It's a lot harder than most Americans realize. And this could blow up and get out of control in a hurry. And so Putin has very cleverly and wisely, from his perspective, reinforced this area, moved a lot of troops from as far as Siberia to within 10, not 100, 10 kilometers of the border now. It used to be 100. Now it's about 10. And there's a major staging area that's on a main artery that connects right to Kiev being right here. Anyway. And that one is less than 10 kilometers or about 10 kilometers from the border. So that's what's going on. That's what this is all about. And I think that this is all about negotiations between not just NATO and Russia, but also the European Union and Russia. Russia wants something. I don't know what it is, but they want something. And so by acting belligerently around this conflict that's already very hot, they can use their influence, because guess who's giving the rebels weapons? It's Russia. Russia's giving them the weapons. So it's not just about staging military troops on the Russian side of the border. It's also about supporting these rebels militarily as well. And so they could say, hey, we could always return to Siberia, but you got to give Russia something for that. And I think that's what this is all about. I don't think this is going to blow up into anything bigger than it already is. But Putin has saw a means to get something from Europe. And he's taking advantage of it. All right. So what do you guys think of this little conflict that's going on in Ukraine? One, did anybody in chat know that shots are being fired and have been for a long time on the border of Russia and Ukraine? Because I bet you a lot of people didn't know that. Let's see. Any plan will go away as soon as shots are fired. Yeah, that's kind of a good axiom. I kind of agree with that as well. Yeah, I wonder if this gets out of hand, out of Putin's control. Yeah, could you imagine that? Is he playing with something that he could lose control of? Yeah. Let's see, you guys did know about this. A lot of people in chat did know about these ceasefire violations happening along this border here. Okay, well, good. You guys are an informed audience, and I want to take small part of credit of that for that. I can't take full credit. Black Sea Oil, that could be it. Tyrepo says, I expect the fire was exchanged in limited capacity for a while. Yeah. The funny thing about these reports is there's never any reports of Russian casualties. It's always Ukraine. So if the Russians are taking casualties, they're not reporting it. But keep in mind, these supposedly are not Russian troops. These are Russian-backed Ukraine rebels, I think is the most accurate description as I understand it. And so anyway, there's, like I said, it's a hot mess over there. Hey, it's Aaron from Subbrief. I hope you liked the video. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the YouTube page if you haven't already. Also, check out our playlist. We have Naval News playlist. We have Subbrief lecture playlists, which are in-depth analysis into different classes of submarines. And yes, even warships now. We're expanding into warships because we've covered so many of the submarines. I also have a second channel. If you're looking for the gameplay video that used to be a big part of the Subbrief YouTube channel, head on over to OnlySubs. That's right. OnlySubs, little tongue-in-cheek YouTube channel that I've created to put all the gameplay content that you guys love. This is where we just sit back, have fun, do some live stream video games for a couple hours a few times a week, and we put the VODs over here on OnlySubs on the YouTube channel. All right, click like and subscribe over here and have a good time. Leave a comment down below and I'll be sure and read it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching my video, everybody. Bye.